Hi, I'm Jonathan Weinberg, and this is Drawing with Fountain Pens, and I'm here with Tyler again.
Hi.
Um, Last time we were looking at different sort of iconic pens and testing them out to see how somebody who's a newbie like Tyler to fountain pens, whether he liked them or not. And we discovered that the pen he liked the best was the Lamy 2000,
Yes.
and which is a very popular pen. And I think part of the reasons you liked it, well, I'll let you talk. What was so great about it?
I just like how it felt in my hand. It was pretty smooth. I also like that I could just grip it real high up.
It showed in the middle, so right,
Show in the middle.
and the whole pen itself, not just your
Ooh.
hand. No, so do you see, like, when you
Wait,
look
I'm
at the
trying
screen, you see that's how you know what your people are going to see. If they see your hand, then that's not good. Okay, and
That's
it's
a
sort of
good
like
way.
a rocket ship.
Liftoff. We have a liftoff. 32 minutes past the hour. Liftoff on Apollo 11.
It's like a rock ship.
Right, and
No, it just feels real good. It's light, it's aerodynamic, it's sleek, it's space age, it's modern. I also really like that you can just grab it up here. The other ones you have to like hold back here, and it feels ungainly in my hand.
now the Lamy 2000 was developed in the mid 60s and by a great designer, Gert Mueller, and who's designed some other wonderful pens for Lamy. And I was thinking, instead of so much focusing on how pens write today, that we would sort of look at some of the other iconic post World War II pens. Um, so when you do that again, you go like that, you have to put it in the
Well, I was
picture.
putting it near the mic so they could hear the click sound it makes.
I
It's
see. Oh, yes, it's
Click.
clicky.
like,
It's clicky.
isn't that so nice?
But you could raise it up so we could see it and hear it click.
No.
No, you're not going to do that. Okay. Excellent.
Whoa.
Now people can hear it. It is nice the way it snaps together
It
that
really
way.
does.
What you have in your hand now, you could show that,
This one's real nice.
is the Lamy 2000, but it's in this sort of stainless steel, brushed stainless steel, which is really nice. It's nice to look at, but the truth is when you write with it, it's slippery.
It does
I find
seem a
it
little
very
it's like a
slippery.
seal.
So it's not. I'm not as enjoy. I don't enjoy it as much.
See, it feels like they put those two grippers there to maybe
Right.
like.
And although it's very sleek looking, it actually isn't made of that space age material that the Lamy 2000 is made out of, which is Macalon, I think is what it's called. It was developed by the Bayer company that makes aspirin.
Oh, really?
It's the
Solid.
material that because they're a big chemical company. All that. Anyway, okay. Well, anyway, I was going to look at some iconic pens. Probably the most famous fountain pen that you can think of, perhaps besides Mont Blanc, is this one. This is the Parker 51, and yes, and that is a pen that supposedly Queen Elizabeth used. Parker was, certain companies get designated as companies that are favored by the royal family. I don't know exactly how that works. But it doesn't necessarily mean that that's what they're using. What are you doing?
It has a regal quality. I'm just.
Well, what did you find out about this? When was this?
What did I find out? It was made for the 1949, designed in 1949, released for the.
Nah.
What was it?
No,
What was it? What was it?
It was designed in. You told me this 1939.
1939. That was
Yes.
it for the 51st anniversary of Parker fountain pens. That was it.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yes, and it's interesting because there is no single designer that is assigned to the Parker 51 besides even though you were telling me that it was voted by the
Illinois Institute of
Technologies the fourth most significant and beautiful industrial design
of the 20th century.
Of the
Yeah,
20th
modern
century,
design of the 20th
modern
century.
design. It was a kind of combination of Kenneth Parker was the son of Parker, and Joseph Platt, who I just learned designed the sets for Gone with the Wind and many other Hollywood movies. So in 1934, he designed the arrow clip that is on the Parker pen. but it wasn't. He had been, which is a good part of the design, but it's unclear exactly who exactly came up with this. Basically, what's most interesting about the pen is the hooded pen nib, right? So it has this hooded nib rather than where you can see the whole nib. And I immediately thought the Parker 51 as a pen that you would like, because you can hold it very close to the tip of the pen and not get ink on your fingers.
I would like to write with this.
Even more so than the Lamy 2000, which is a semi-hooded nib. And people love the way this pen writes.
You like this?
Okay, so now we're back. We switched cameras.
We're
back. We're using the Parker 51 that I
this?
have. Make sure. And are you using
it?
It's got
a small sweet spot.
Yes. It's not that different. You can see that I think that the Lamy 2000 was not only in some ways influenced by the shape of this pen, but I think it's also relates to the way in which this pen writes. This looks like it's kind of a medium.
Oh man, just immediately spurged that. Gosh, it's hard to write with these. Just look at that immediately.
Well, you have to. Yes. Wait, then you put your hand on it again.
I know. I don't know how am I supposed to go back to like.
You're supposed to just be aware where you write.
I have such little awareness.
That's just what Prince Charles said when he was. No, he wasn't the prince anymore. He was the king.
It's going everywhere. It's only particular job.
And I hate these pens because they got ink all over them.
My God.
Here you go. Now that is called posting, by the way. And a lot of pens don't post, but this pen posts very securely. And some pens write better, they feel better in your hand when they're posted.
Posting. I'm going to draw an egg. The crack.
Kind of a narrow egg.
It's a very narrow egg.
That looks more like a rock. Well, you're probably thinking about eggs because of
it might be a skill issue.
The Knight in the Seven.
What should I draw?
Kingdoms. Okay, well, what do you think?
I like it. I think I like the other one better, the Parker 2000.
Okay, well, but this was before
the Lamy 2000.
You might want to, do a little scribbling, see how that goes.
It's good. It does have that really narrow sweet spot, and I do like that I can really hike it up with my fingers.
Which where your fingers are, right.
But how can we make the world a better place?
Nice.
Can't.
All right.
See, and then immediately, again, you just can't. How are you supposed to write under it?
Well, I'm trying to say that. Most people write at a kind of angle so their hand doesn't go over. Because it's not like ink wasn't invented with the fountain pen. It's been like thousands of years of people writing with ink, and they figured out a way to write so that as they go across the page, your hand doesn't
feel so cramped if I have to do it like that.
Well, it's just the way people normally write.
Really?
Yeah, actually, that's why. Do you see? See, look at your hand in the way you're writing now. That's if you look at film
correct.
Of people
this is the
writing.
Right way. This is the right way.
That's
freaks.
But just look at your hand in the pen. It doesn't that look like film that you've seen.
It's supposed to be like this.
No, you see, you're putting your hand
right
up
across.
above.
Yeah,
I know. Well, that's the problem.
I really do hold it just right across the line there.
Right. And that's just wrong.
Oh my God.
That's fascinating, but it's absolutely wrong. It's just not the way that people hold pens.
I just disagree with you.
Well, I'm sorry, but there is a reason for it. Even a ballpoint pen is likely to smear, and a pencil certainly will if you write that way.
I'm learning things I didn't want to learn about myself.
Well, there you go. That's what this is all about. It's interesting. Okay. Well, anyway, let's move on.
We have not talked much about the pen. Okay.
Do you like? Well, you didn't. You've already. Oh, You just did. You just. Well, what you're discovering is this is a button filler at the back, and when you fill this pen, you can show it to show the folks.
Show the folks at home.
It has a little button that helps you.
Ooh.
Which is one of the wonderful aspects of the Parker pen, is that it was so easy to fill.
Show the folks back home.
Okay. Now, here's another wonderful modern design. This is one of my favorite pens. In terms of the way it looks. This is the Eversharp Skyline.
Okay.
And this was designed by a really famous designer, Henry Dreyfuss.
I like how this feels.
Who's really well known for streamlined designs. His most famous design was a train, the Mercury line of trains. But he designed a whole slew of different industrial things. And this is a really beautiful pen that they're still making. They kind of revived the Eversharp pen line, and you can continue to buy new versions of this pen. But since it was so popular, and there were so many versions of it, it's fairly inexpensive to buy a vintage pen. It also was developed, I think, in 1940.
It's smooth.
Yeah, not all Eversharp pens, but many of them actually have flexible nibs. And I think if you press on the nib a little bit, you will see that it has a flexi line. If you just give us some lines.
I'm really trying to write like this, and it just feels terrible.
Well, I don't know what to say about that. I suppose you could wear rubber gloves.
Oh, I don't mind getting the ink on my hand.
Oh, okay. But do you see one way to test if it's flexible? Would you want me to show you?
Press down.
Yeah, you press down as you go down, and you let go.
Yeah,
There's some flex to it. People like to do little kind of like curly cues to test the flex. Do you want me to show you how to do that?
Yeah.
Okay, so when you're holding this, you go, see the way I hold a pen?
Wow.
See if you go like that.
Your hand is so straight when you do it.
You see how
you're good at that.
No, not really. To tell you the truth, I'm a terrible calligrapher. But then if you were doing,
Oh, so you're really pressing down.
yes, you can.
Ooh, that's fancy.
Right, so you can see this has quite a lot of flex.
That has a lot of flex.
Yes.
Ah,
And these are
yeah,
gold
you really
nibs.
gotta press down on that puppy.
So they have this ability. A good flex nib doesn't just change thin to thick, but it bounces back quickly.
And would you consider this a good flex nib?
I think it's an okay flex nib. It's almost semi-flex. There are flex nibs that'll go from a extra fine to a broad. This is more like a fine to a broad, I guess. But I just love the way the pen looks.
It does look very nice.
And it's a little scratchy, right?
What were some of the info he designed? It was made for... Oh, it was used by the U.S. Air Force or the Navy because it wouldn't leak at high altitudes, right?
Exactly. And
Yeah.
originally the Air Force was part of the Navy, that's right.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Right, and so supposedly you could use this pen when you were flying because it wouldn't leak at high altitudes like most pens. Most pens even today do that.
Really?
Fountain pens. They're tricky if you're on a plane. Sometimes I put them in a plastic bag when I travel.
Do you really?
Yes, because I'm afraid. See, but I'm watching you, and you go backwards, so then you're bringing your sleeve. So if you write on this side,
I'm just freestyling right now. I'm just going.
I know, but then when you take your shirt and then you go, you may get ink on not only on your hand, but you may get it across your shirt as well.
I am bad at this.
So that's interesting.
And a disappointment.
No, I didn't say that. Well, you're never going to be disappointed. But it's interesting, that we take writing for granted. I think that's the point.
Yeah. The art of it.
And I think that that's one thing about fountain pens is that it kind of makes you aware of something that you normally don't really think about, on a day-to-day basis, and kind of celebrate the forming of the
you're more careful with it. And
yeah. So here's a pen that I have recently become very aware of. Over the summer, Nick Adams did a really beautiful exhibit at the Vassar College Library focusing on this pen, the Aurora Hastel.
Ooh.
Which is very simple, a certain simple but very elegant pen.
So sleek.
Yes. And really kind of comes out of the whole Bauhaus design aesthetic. That gets developed in 1968, as I remember. So this pen was designed by Marco Sanuso, an Italian architect, with
Richard
Sapper, who he often collaborates with. And the other thing that's cool about it is that it comes in this amazing box. We can show that. Open it up.
Yeah, let me just close this before
And that actually was designed by a woman designer, Sine Boeri.
Ooh.
And that's where the pen would sit in that.
And there's like a hidden compartment up
here. Yes, where your ink and your cartridges and the converter all fit in there. It's really, really beautifully done, I think.
Yeah, it's very sleek.
Yes. And I think they still make this pen. I don't think it comes in this wonderful box anymore, but back then it did. So that's another aspect of it. And I was struck how this pen looks a bit like the phone that they use in Men from U.N.C.L.E., actually.
Oh.
So here it is writing, and what do you think of this?
It's nice. It doesn't really have any flex, does it?
But it has a bit of a feedback, but in a nice, pleasant way, I think.
The scratch?
Yeah, what do you think?
Yeah.
But it's very light pen.
It is very light. It's more like a pencil, really.
Right, and that's the thing, is that this, one of the things that Nick Adams really discovers is that this seems like such an obvious shape and design for a fountain pen, but they really don't bring it in until this late 60s, until this design. And then there are just so many pens that imitate this design, but this is really the first one. And I think that when you design a pen like this, and it doesn't really have any change in terms of the way the body, is shaped, so it doesn't really accommodate your hand, which is the way a pencil works, right? That it works okay as long as it's very light. But when a pen like this becomes very heavy, which this isn't, then it's not going to work as well. That pens like that are cigar shaped, that have an arc to them, fit your hand better, I think. This is more about a pen looking good.
Yeah.
Also, so it is in the Bauhaus tradition and this sort of idea of form following function, but in a certain way it doesn't. It's more about, often in Bauhaus design, it's more about making something that looks as if it were functional, right? But which is more about how it looks rather than, and it's about a certain simplicity of design rather than it is about something necessarily that is the most comfortable thing. This is often something that people criticize about high design, is that the chair might look beautiful, but it's actually hard to get into, and you might have these beautifully designed furniture in your living room, but you'll have another room where you have your lazy boy where you really want to sit.
Oh yeah, so in the end you really just go to the
right. Now it's interesting the way you're holding the pen again. Now you're holding it. Now the nib, I'm noticing that the nib, when you bring the nib to the paper, that it's almost backwards.
Huh. This is just maybe I need to go back to kindergarten.
No, now it's good. So now you're off the screen, though.
Oh.
That's good. All right, so you like that one?
Yeah.
All right. I mean, today it's all about we're looking at these pens in terms of how they look, not necessarily
How they write. Yeah,
how they
this
write. But
one-
that writes fairly nicely.
This
I
one,
think.
I really like how it looks. I like the whole vibe of it.
Yes. What else do we have to look
It's
at
not my
today?
favorite to write with, though.
Yes. And then I have another, I'm sort of highlighting pens that are by famous designers. I have another famous pen, which is the Parker 25. And you're back to the Skyline.
I like that
Where's
one.
your Parker 25?
Oh, is it?
By Kenneth Grange.
Is it this one?
No,
What could this be?
that's nothing special. Oh, here it is. Oh, great. So put it on stop again. What do we look for? This is another pen that I've spent a lot of time talking about. I've even written about it in the Fountain Pen Journal.
This one's a real sleek looking pen.
Okay, so this is a Parker 25, and it was designed by a British designer,
In New
Kenneth
Haven, England.
Grange. And he designed it for Parker. I think at that point, this again is in the, and this is true, I think, too, for the Hastel. This is in the late 60s. This is a ballpoint pen has taken off, and people are, abandoning fountain pens in droves.
Ooh, I like
and
this
there's a
one.
move to try to make fountain pens that look modern and sleek.
Ooh, I like
and-
this one a lot.
And this is called.
This
So
one's
this is the
great.
Parker 25, and Kenneth Grange, who is known for designing a lot of things for it's true of also Marco Sanuso, that they design things for the home that were beautiful.
Like what?
Excuse me. They design things for the home, telephones and kitchen equipment and all kinds of things that.
Watch that.
And Kenneth Grange in particular is someone who the people Apple designers sort of cite. But actually, it's true too of the Italian designers has inspiration, because they believed, Kenneth Grange in particular, believed that things should be beautiful, they should be well made, and he also felt that things should be comfortable. And
I like
so
this
he
one a lot.
designed. He really
Reminds me of
thought
a
about the
Stanley
pen.
water bottle.
Yeah, doesn't it look like a much later water bottle? But remember that kind of water bottle that everybody has that you use in your car for
You know
coffee,
what I mean? Like with the
didn't exist in in the late 60s, 70s. So that's a design, as far as I know.
Yeah.
So that's a design that comes later. But the reason he did that is so that when you post it, it's extremely secure.
Oh, really?
I mean, I can't tell you how many pens that I think
yeah.
post really well, but then when you do what you just did, the cap falls off. But in this case, the cap
Spit and funny,
really
though.
stays on there, and you don't have to worry about it coming. The other thing is nice is that it has this conical nib. If you sort of show that in the which I think is really beautiful.
It is really cool looking.
Yeah.
I really like this one actually.
And it was not an expensive pen at the time. The Hastel, was a more expensive pen. The Parker 51, the Skyline. These were not hugely expensive pens, but they weren't cheap. None of these pens, I would say, perhaps with the exception of the Parker 25, were really inexpensive. Even the Parker 25 was not like the cheapest pen you could buy. But they were all meant to be mass produced, The Parker 25 does not have a gold nib.
What is it?
It's
Titanium? Steel?
Steel. I don't know if they made things out of titanium back in the 60s, or if they did, they're probably very expensive. What do you think of that?
I like this one a lot.
Yeah, there's something very satisfying about it. It's having a bit of a revival right now. Doodlebud, for example, really likes it. And since they don't make it, you can't buy this pen. There is a new version of the Parker 51, which I don't own, but people say is not anywhere as good as the old Parker 51.
Well,
But this particular pen, if you want to buy a new version of it, there is a Maijun Chinese absolute clone of this pen.
Really?
Yes, that you can get.
Is it any good?
It's okay. It doesn't. I would say the nib isn't quite as nice,
Okay.
but it's pretty close. I mean, this nib is not, in terms of the way it writes. I don't know what you think about it, but it's not. There's nothing remarkable about it.
I like it. I don't know if I'm crazy about feedback in general, to be honest.
I know you've mentioned that it has too much feedback.
No, this one doesn't really have a lot at all.
Oh, and also it's perfect for you in terms of how you hold pens.
Yeah.
Right. Pretty perfect. You really get down there, you'll get ache on your fingers.
Wish I was a better drawer.
I feel like one of the things that there should be more focus on is the design of these pens in terms of actual who designed them, what were they thinking,
What were they thinking?
What was the process of coming up with a pen, because you have a lot of these things, of course, are done in groups, because it's not just a matter of sitting down and saying, well, this is what a pen should look like. You have to work with the manufacturer, you have to figure out all the different parts, you have to see how expensive it is to do this. You're working with existing factories, so they have to be retooled significantly to make a particular pen. So there's a lot of things that go into it, and a lot of it has to do with marketing too. In terms of who's going to buy this pen, who are they focusing on, right? And part of the fountain pen. The desire to use fountain pens now, I think, has to do with nostalgia, maybe, or with an idea of getting away from things that are modern. That maybe a pen like this might be appealing. But on the other hand, there are all these people who are really interested in mid-century design, and this has that quality to it as well. It's funny because it has a kind of super modern look, and at the same time, it has a kind of funky look to it.
Yeah.
Particularly when you take when you're holding it. You can't see the way that it indents.
Yeah, that part, I like that part.
Yeah, well, that makes it also, at the time, he was thinking, he also was someone, by the way, who designed trains.
He did the Mercury train?
No, that was Henry Dreyfuss.
Oh, my bad.
Right, this is Henry Granger.
Yes.
Right, and he's later, right?
It's funny they had the
but
same
he
names.
also designed, just Henry. If they were both named Dreyfuss, that would be more unusual. But anyway, both of these Henrys designed trains. He designed a bullet train much more recently. He only died a few years ago,
really?
like last year. Anyway, he was thinking at the time, I think, of the stages of rockets. One of the ways that they were able to figure out how to get a rocket and how to get human beings to the moon was to think of the rocket as going off in different stages, and as it takes off, it's this huge thing, and then the parts of it as it goes up into the sky
Unfold.
they're detached,
Yeah.
right? And then the rocket becomes smaller. There's something of that in this design. It has a little bit of that quality, I think. So I think, again, it's about space age design and rockets. Okay, anything else to add here as you draw this phallic thing?
It's a rocket.
Seems like more like a
It's a rocket.
vibrator.
It's
than
a rocket. It's a rocket.
Looks more like a vibrator.
It's
to
a
me.
rocket ship.
Okay.
You're gonna have to cut this part.
No.
You're keeping this in?
Yeah, that's funny.
Okay.
That's gold.
What? That's gold. What do rockets have in them?
I don't know. Okay, well, we're going to say goodbye now, and we'll see you again next time.